Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Press the wrong button. Sorry, people. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah. Well, to the channel. Welcome back, everyone, to the live match preview. Queens Park Rangers. Well, Birmingham City Queens Park Rangers live at St Andrews. Or I should say St Andrews and the Knighthead Park. I should say. Live from 7.5 Sky Sports Plus. We'll be live from 7:30 tomorrow, so tune in if you want to catch it. Who we got in the chat? Keep your Ryan, evening mate. Well, how are you, Ryan? Hopefully you're having a good day. Hope you have a good night as well. Shellcast, welcome into chat. I think you are the first chatter. I think I'm not too sure if you're brand new to the channel. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comment, live chat. Hopefully you're having a good evening. But yeah, big game tomorrow. Before we get into it, I want to say yesterday's live show kind of was a big kickoff where we went an hour long, man, just discussing about the match reaction of the disappointing game between Middlesbrough at home where we lost 4-0. That live stream has gone mental. I'll be honest with you. There's quite a few comments on that video live stream that a lot of people are obviously getting seriously agitated now with Julian Stefan. So yeah, I've already said my thoughts on it. I won't repeat it. You know, I'm a big fan, and we'll leave it there. But apart from that, we're gonna get into tomorrow's game, I should say, match preview. So, as you can see, we've played Birmingham already at home, and it was actually quite a tough test at our ground against Birmingham. We did get a win. I believe it was a 2-1 win. Let me just double check that actually. And I remember the goals, but I just don't remember. Yeah, it was a 2-1 win. It was 9th of December, where we went ahead with Jimmy Dunn with a cracking goal from him. And then obviously Birmingham City came back right in the final minutes, and then Morgan finishing it off with a thunder strike 90 plus 6 minutes in injury time. What a goal it was. What a performance it was as well for us. You know, we got dominated by ball possession, but momentumly we were attacking a lot better than we are right now. So yeah, it's gonna be a big difference. There is, especially at Birmingham. You know, Birmingham is a tough ground to go to. We've had a few good results there, I would say. But we're talking probably back in a lot like 2019 era, maybe a bit further on from there. But yeah, we haven't had a real good result since I'm looking here now. January 2022, where we beat Birmingham 2-1 at St Andrews. So yeah, very interesting it's going to be tomorrow, because obviously, you know, with everyone, with how the club is going at the moment, I should say, it's going to be a game that obviously I'm going to go into it thinking we're going to lose. You know, I hate to say it, but it's honest truth. You know, I'm going to be honest completely about it. You know, Birmingham City right now are obviously in the same predicament as us with form. You know, but realistically, they're in us and them. We're in that boat. We're all in that boat where everyone's fighting for whatever it is. Birmingham are obviously going to be a tougher opponent this time around, because obviously injury-wise to QPR. You know, we haven't performed very well. Well, not very well, I should say. We haven't performed at all great lately. It's been horrendous for QPR. And it's going to be a big challenge. You know, I'm predicting Birmingham to win this completely. You know, Birmingham come into this game 3 losses out of 5, with 1 win and 1 draw. You know, all them losses are away to Charlton, at home to Middlesbrough, and away to Millwall. The last win was away to Norwich, and a draw with West Brom at home. So yeah, listen, realistically, the opponents that they've drawn and won against is a bit of a, you know, good one for them. But Millwall, obviously top playoffs. Middlesbrough up there. Charlton Athletic, though, that's a bit of a weird one where they're obviously bottom of the league. So yeah, but realistically, our team right now is not good enough. And as you can tell by the title of the game, or of this video, I should say, live stream, it does say rotation. We need to rotate. That is key. And personally, even if we have to play youngsters, honestly, it has to happen. I don't want to see Coney on that pitch tomorrow. Not because of where people are saying he's shit, but just because we need to rest Kone, and we need to give game time to other players, other strikers. We do, you know. I honestly believe Collie deserves a chance up front. You know, he did well against Sheffield Wednesday, scoring 2 goals, and he deserves a chance to get put on there, because Kone ain't doing anything at the moment, so we might as well play someone and give him a try. With forward wise, in attack wingers, I don't know what's going to happen with Poku. I don't know what's happening with Chair, if they're going to be in the squad or not. But Paul Smith, I believe, needs to play this game for sure. I don't want to see him on the bench. I actually really want to see him on the field for this. And I would like to see Harvey Vale with Paul Smith. You know, Sato's not doing too great at the moment, in my opinion. His form's not been there. Unless we're going to play him in the middle, then it makes sense. But apart from that, I think Sato needs a rest. Harvey Vale is just killing it at the moment, and he should do well. With defensive duties, I'd personally probably say stick in Ronnie in the defensive midfield with someone like Varane or someone like that, because it needs to happen. It really does need to happen. We're struggling in defensive abilities right now. I think with right back, I don't know what they're going to do, whether it's sticking Amadou still there, but I think Steve Cook will play tomorrow. Personally, we're going to need it. You know, I think the back two right now with Jimmy and Steve Cook, Jimmy and Ronnie Edwards, it's not working out. Norton Davis, you know, the only person that we can really play there is Esquadina. But personally, if it was down to me, I'd rather have Amadou and Bengue on the left, Ronnie on the right, Jimmy and Steve Cook in the middle, which is pretty much, in my opinion, a very strong defense. Or otherwise, we're going to have to go 3 at the back. We will. You know, in goal, Joe Walsh obviously has been in a lot of controversy again with Joe Walsh. Obviously, start of the season, very bad. Everyone loved him in January part when he came back. But then when it came down to the latest results right now, everyone's killing him, you know. And will he play? The likely chances are probably. But if he doesn't, it'll end up only being in Ben Hamer, won't it? So if Ben Hamer gets his opportunity, we'll see what happens there. My controversial was this: you can't just keep switching keepers. It makes no sense. It loses the dressing room. It loses confidence in certain players, and it makes you think, well, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Really? So that's my honest opinion on that. So yeah, rotation is key for sure for this game. I would love to go into this game with a draw, but realistically, we're probably going to see us lose. You know, if we get away with a win and a draw, I'll be over the moon. I know it obviously won't be the best at the moment with everyone's mood on how it is with QPR, but it puts some points on the board. It does, and that's the main thing. We need points. Whether, like I said, away games, a draw is better than a loss in my opinion. At home, I'd rather have a win. A draw is technically a loss in my opinion at home. So yeah, Birmingham obviously with recent form. Let's have a look at what their results are. So obviously they lost to Charlton. We know Birmingham City like to play like a counter-attacking playing style. They do. You know, they have the forwards obviously for it. They have some decent quality players, very pacey as well. Now, in the Charlton game for Birmingham, they were pretty much outclassed by Charlton in the first half, but then in the second half they came back. Obviously still losing 1-0. In the Middlesbrough game, obviously they were all over pretty much Middlesbrough for the first time this season. and they still got beaten. They did. So I don't know what happened there with Birmingham there, but they were pretty much class at home in that second half. And then if we go to the third game, yeah, again pretty even away at Millwall, but it was all Birmingham really. Actually, it was all Millwall to be honest, but Birmingham had right. So what I'm looking at here, right, in the last games, right, it looks like tactically the second half is where Birmingham kind of shift a little bit harder than expected. They tend to attack more in the second half. And in the first half, they're very slow. They are. So, for what I'm thinking is that we need to go ahead straight away in this game and literally go ahead and try and get the goals first half, and second half keep the attack going, but we need to kind of control the ball a bit more and make sure that we don't lose it to a silly incident, like for example where Joe Walsh hoofs it out and it's just gone straight to a Birmingham City player. So yeah, but it's going to be a hard game. It really is. You know, with us, we haven't really done much. Obviously, we had a few attacks against Middlesbrough. We've had a few attacks against Sheffield United, but realistically, it's been so shit from us attack-wise and defence. So things need to change. Things need to be worked on. You know, hopefully Julian cheers up a little bit and is looking positive, because at the moment he's not looking great. You know, is his job in danger? 100% his job's in danger. But personally, I'd rather have him stay at the club. So yeah. But apart from that, that's really it. The referee tomorrow will be Anthony Backhouse. Haven't really heard of him. Don't know if he's refed in the championship before. We'll probably check on that later on for tomorrow's live stream. Watch along. We will. But nothing really else to say about what's going on, to be honest. Because listen, look, we know where we are, and Birmingham City wise, you know, they're gonna push us, but technically they could be in the same position as us. So yeah, you know, they're at home, they have the advantage, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, you know, Nolan and Dykes, he's at Charlton. The only person really, obviously, you know, they got Patrick Roberts, they do, which is a danger man. Jay Stanfield. Who else is there? We all know about Jack Robinson, Bright Samuel, Ethan Laird. We know most really about these players. Panzo, another great defender. Pike, who's an excellent midfielder. But apart from that, Damari Gray. You know, I don't know much about the others. Vincent is apparently meant to be really good, but apart from that, I don't really know much about any of the other players for Birmingham City. So yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. What's the comment saying? Kubaran says, yeah, they aren't in good form, but they're gonna get a free pass as we are QPR. Kubaran says, Sato just as bad as Vale, Smith, Poku, Dembele. They all been shit this season. Don't know why everyone is picking out Sato. Listen, look, I didn't say Sato was shit. I just say he's out of form, and the majority of it is to do with I don't think he's being played in the right position or in the right style of play which he plays. You know, Chair technically has been the only player that's been playing in a style of play that he's used to. Sato, we saw the best of him in his first game back at QPR, but since then he's not really done anything. You know, he's been very quiet, and whether that's to do with that he's not getting enough of the ball or whatever it is, really. You know, Harvey Vale's been okay. I wouldn't say he's had an excellent season, but I would say he's been more involved than Sato. I think Paul Smith has been brilliant this season, personally. Poku, yeah, just injuries. So nothing to say there. But Dembele, listen, look, when Dembele obviously came back from his knee injury, we all should have known that, you know, when an ACL goes, you're very, you're very delicate and fragile. So yeah, out of form like Smith and Vale. What have they done all season? What I'm trying to say is Smith and Vale have been more influential in this season's performances. They've been more contributed. Sato wise, he hasn't really contributed. The only thing that he's contributed to is a goal at the start of the season. You know, he has done a couple of goals with us, but when it comes down to performance wise, he's not been the same like last season, where he's had more of the ball last season than he has this season. You know, when he gets on the ball, it's usually the same thing. He's in a dangerous spot, and there's not much that can be done. You know, Sato, for me, the Sato that we know, when he gets that ball, he gets past players and he gets into the box. You know, we haven't seen that in a while from Sato. So yeah, you know, I'm not saying Harvey Vale's had a great season. I'm not saying anyone's had the most superb season. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this: Harvey Vale and Paul Smith have been more influential than Sato this season, in my opinion. You know, I think they've contributed to a lot more goals than Sato. I don't know, actually on paper, I haven't looked, but for what I've been watching, when it comes down to goal-wise, I think Sato has the same amount of goals as Paul Smith, I think. Probably. I'll have to have a look at it, and we'll go through it tomorrow. But I just was saying more influential, so yeah. Right, so apart from that, that's pretty much it, really. There's not much we can say, because obviously with everything that's going on at the moment, there's nothing really exciting to talk about after match previews, you know. All we can go by is tomorrow, see what the team is saying, and, you know, until we get that confidence back, then we're going to be there. As you can tell, everyone in the chat, even me, you know, I'm shocked, I'm gobsmacked, you know. We've all lost our energy, you know. We got to keep going, and obviously you can tell by the videos, you know, with the form wise, it's been really bad. So yeah, we're really missing Burrell. 100% we're missing Burrell. I really want to see Burrell back, and it's that simple. It's really that simple. You know, we're missing him for his goals, and we're missing creativity. And hopefully defense gets a lot better like it has been in January. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But apart from that, we're going to leave it there for tonight. We'll be live tomorrow from 7:30. If you're going to tune in, good to see you. We'll see you there. But for this one, thank you everyone for tuning in the chat. Is that Shellcast, QPR Ryan, as always. Thank you for tuning in. If there's any Birmingham City fans, thank you for tuning in as well. And we'll leave it there for tonight. Apart from that, don't forget to like button, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you want to, and we'll catch you tomorrow with our live watch along against Birmingham City, live from St Andrews. We'll be live from 7:45, like I said, or 7:30 I should say, and we'll go from there. But have a good evening. Ryan, cheers for tuning in, and everyone else that is there. Have a lovely evening, and we'll catch you tomorrow.